Hey, welcome back in for Theo's Coffee Break podcast. So today we're talking about forgiveness and what a sincere apology sounds like and how they work hand in hand. And for my notes, I have my laptop today. And I'm coming back with a little bit more structure today, so it's not going to be so much all over the place. But yeah, the reason why I want to talk about these things is because there's just a lot of conflict right now. In a lot of areas of life, I really feel like nobody is catching a break. And for us to be able to get through this, we got to find a way to be able to once again coexist with our differences. And a part of that is knowing the importance of forgiveness and knowing the importance of an apology and finding value in talking with each other again. Because the easy way out is an Irish goodbye, right? And the easy way is coming in and acting like nothing has happened. But how do we get to that point? How do we get to that point where we can actually talk to each other again? That's the struggle here. And I have a perspective that I am willing to share in hopes that other people take the same approach that I do. Nobody is perfect, all right? So this is a very authentic way that is true to me, but I have had a lot of success with this because it's coming from the heart, That's the other thing too I want to point out here. It's messy. That's right. There is no perfect way to go about this. I don't really think that there is a right way or a wrong way to go about this. However, it's good to have some guidelines. It's good to have some guidelines and also know that it's got to be consensual, right? It has to be a two-way street. But somebody's got to be willing to open the door and somebody's got to be willing to listen. Both people got to be willing to listen. So, feel free to join in the conversation. Search Theo's Coffee Break podcast. This episode is gonna sound something like forgiveness or apologies, and I will see you there for this beautiful conversation. Come on over. All right, so give me just a moment to turn the light off and close up my phone. Yeah, man. And how do we get started with this? Right. Oh my gosh. Well, let's start off with this. I was watching a video called Relationships That Work with Michelle Farris. And Michelle is spelled Michelle, last name Farris, Farris. And I would highly recommend everybody to go check that video out after this conversation. There's a lot of really good things to know, and she breaks it down in a really wonderful way. It's like textbook, but also, casual, relatable. And there was just a lot of good things there. Now, I am going to only focus in on the sincere apology part because there is a misunderstanding about sincerity that I think people miss. And when we hear sincere, we think something like it's not that serious. Like it's bubbly and frilly and floral and clean. Like it's a lot of that. But to me, being sincere is a superpower. And what I mean by that is, you know that they're being real. You know that this is the real deal. You know that this is not a performance. This isn't fake. Um and I think that's where the value is. I think that's where the real meat and potatoes of what it means to be sincere is, knowing that this person is coming forward as their realest, messiest, but authentic self. And so the key steps for a sincere apology, let's just jump right on in, because again, I really don't know how to open this door, because I think for a lot of us too, I'll get to the, sorry, this is just another thought. For some reason, there's like an expiration date, and trust me, I am that person. I'm a person where it's just like, oh no, you were like 3 weeks too late. I don't want to hear from you. And I'm now working through that. And I'm now working through that because there's no such thing as an expiration date. It's never too late to make something right or correct. And I know, now I see how I'm the problem here, right? So sorry for getting a little aggressive there. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my brain. So so let's jump in here, and that's also why I spent like a day just kind of like reflecting on how to overcome my let's say pride. Let's go with that, pride. That's the nicest way to put it. So anyways, number 1, acknowledge and take responsibility. So she says here, clearly state what you did wrong and accept fault without blaming others or using the if and or but. So yeah, clearly state what you did wrong and accept fault without blaming others or using the if or but. The if, the but of it all, I think it really takes away from it, because it kind of like all of a sudden you're dismissing your part. The overall thing here, and I'm going to get into the other steps too, is taking accountability and ownership for what you've done, right? I hurt your feelings when I said XYZ, and I am so sorry for that. That's a pretty good way to start this off. So number 2 is express remorse. Say I'm sorry or I apologize and convey genuine regret or shame. Okay, so it looks like I kind of mixed 1 and 2 together when I said that. I'm just going to go through all the steps, and then we'll kind of try to lay out an example here together. Number 3, validate their feelings. Show you understand the impact of your actions and how they made the other person feel. Number 4, provide an explanation, not excuses. Briefly explain why it happened to show understanding, but don't use it to justify the behavior. Are you kind of seeing where we're going with this? We're not trying to escape the accountability. We're not trying to talk ourselves out of taking ownership here. We're grabbing the bull by the horns. We are facing the music. And we are expressing this because we don't want to burn a bridge here, right? That's the intention. We don't want to burn a bridge here, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Okay, the bridge could possibly be burned. There might be nothing here to rebuild, but this is still important. Offer to make amends. Propose a way to fix the situation. Example, by replacing something or acknowledging the pain that was caused, or that is caused, or that it could still be happening, right? Because it's not about you, it's about what happened. And and because of what you did here, what it has done to the person on the other side of this. Okay, and then number 6, commit to change. State how you'll prevent it from happening again and follow through with action. Right? We want changed behavior here. We want a change in the way that you're going about things. Okay? We don't want a vicious cycle of performance where we know that at some point the performance is going to end and then it's going to start up all over again, and then we're back in the same cycle of things, the same routine, right? So when we're doing this, the sincere apology, we're not doing this just to enable the dysfunction. We're here to end it and start off on a different foot in moving forward. Okay? And letting this be in the past. So the number 7, this is the optional part. But I wanted to keep this in here because I do think forgiveness and apologies work in tandem. You can ask for forgiveness, but don't demand it or expect immediate resolution. Okay? We put it out there, but it's not up to us to decide if they accept the apology. Okay? We are not here to control them. We are not here to punish them if they don't accept what we're laying down. If they don't pick up what we're laying down, you gotta let it be. You gotta let it be, because we are not here to control people, right? We're not here to play God, and we're not here to control outcomes in other people's lives. We are here to build together, lift each other up. And that's why apologies and forgiveness is such an important step in strengthening bonds, in strengthening friendship, in strengthening and building connections, because mistakes will happen. If you work at a job and they make you feel like that when you make a mistake, it's the end of the world, quit. Run away and don't look back, because that's abuse and that's control. Mistakes happen. Okay? And if there's anything in my life that I have learned, pretty much 99.9% of things can be fixed. We can come back from it, right? It might be really bad. It might look like the end of the world, but it's not. Okay? There are far and few things that are actually absolute in this world. One of them is death, and one of them is life. Okay? As long as we wake up and we have breath in our lungs, the one thing that we can count on is that we can turn it around. It's not too late. It might be scary. All right? We might feel defeat, but we can still turn it around. And then the other one is, like I said, death. We can't bring anyone back from the dead. Okay? But everything outside of that, it's subjective. Okay? It's subjective, and we got to get it in our heads that no matter how impossible it might look right now, what you're dealing with, what's in front of you, we just can't seem to catch a break, right? No matter how impossible it might look or feel, there's still a way to move forward. We have to be open-minded to it, and we have to be open to hearing an apology. We have to be open to forgiveness. So I'm going to include a clip here right now. I've talked about this before, okay? But I've talked about it before, and I want to put it in here because I still stand by it. But man, have I learned a lot since sharing this clip. And I would say that it wasn't until, like, I would say last week, maybe a week and a half or a week ago, I was journaling. And I'm going to read you the journal entry that I wrote here after we listened to this clip together. And it really clicked for me that forgiveness is so much more than what we might think it is. And again, this is just my perspective. This is what I am currently learning right now. Right now in real time. All right. This is coming from a very real, fresh spot in my life that is not resolved yet. And I'm hoping that we can get back on the right track of resolving this for good. But anyways, let's listen to this clip together, and I will meet you at the end. Why is advice a lot like an apology? I am 33 years old, and I have lived a lot of life. I know it may not look like it, but I have. And over the years, what I've learned about advice and apology is that just because someone's listening does not mean that they're going to take what you're saying and go with it. And I used to really struggle with that because I'm over here listening to you pour your heart out to me, share with me your frustrations, and I can hear the issue, and I don't want you to be in pain. And so I spend some time thinking about advice to give you, even if I can't give it to you in the moment, which lately I've been doing a lot of. Thank you for sharing that with me. I would love to talk more about this with you later after I have some time to think about it, because I honestly really don't know what to say. But I want you to feel safe to talk to me. And anyone who talks to me knows I'm very confidential. I keep it to myself, and it's between me and you. With that being said, what I've had to learn is just because I share my advice, just because I put some time and effort into thinking about what you're sharing with me, does not mean that you may go with it. Or you might not even want my advice, to which I've had it as of late. People say, I just want to vent. I really don't want to hear your take on it. And it's not anything against you. You tend to give great advice, but I don't want to hear solutions right now. Totally okay. I can respect that. But it's hard. It's hard because for me as an individual, I'm very much like, okay, this shit hit the fan. What are we going to do now? What's next? I don't like to sit around and hope for the best. I'm very proactive. I'm a planner, and I always want to see success. Even if I'm not able to maybe get it right away, or I might not be able to, get to where I want to be within the year, the month, the week, the day, I still will think about what's next. How can I keep moving forward? Not everybody is like that, which I find to be surprising. But then again, that's what makes people. That's what makes us all different. This is how we learn to coexist with our differences and agree to disagree. So why is it a lot like an apology? Just because I'm ready for forgiveness doesn't mean that you might be. And that was a very hard lesson that I began learning about 5 years ago, and it hasn't clicked until as of recently as to what that really means. And it means sometimes you just have to become indifferent and move on and keep going. It doesn't mean that you're leaving anyone behind. It just means that you're valuing your growth, you're respecting your path, and most importantly, respecting your own decisions, respecting your own, your choices. My hair is a little crazy. But anyways, advice and apologies, they're a lot alike, and we live in a society that's very quick to judge. We live in a society that's very quick to kind of displace the blame or put it all on the other party. Oh, it's not me. It's all them. I did my part. Now it's all on them. The ball's in their court. No, don't be like that. I used to be like that. I'm no longer like that, because when you have that done to you, it doesn't feel that great. You feel like there's a lack of understanding. You feel like that there's a huge miscommunication. And that's not what, well, at least for me, that's not what I wanted. I want to stay connected. You know, boundaries are there for a reason. Boundaries don't mean that I'm shutting you out or cutting you off. It's just me communicating what I'm comfortable with, and you overstepped. But I want you to be in my life. I want to stay connected. But not everyone sees it that way. Not everyone feels that. And yeah, so people might misunderstand you. They might say that it was the tone of your voice or the words that you chose, but at the end of the day, you just gotta call it what it is and leave room for grace, leave room for compassion, and leave room for there to be an opportunity to have a conversation, whether it's years down the road or maybe it's days, months, but most likely it'll probably be years. At least that's what it's been for me. Years later, we're finally able to come together and talk about it. So I wanted to share that. And I wanted to share this moment with you. This cake is so good. It's from Whole Foods. One of my favorite cakes. But yeah, last thing. We are right now living in very divisive times. There's a lot of division. There's a lot of people's rights being attacked, mine including my rights, okay? And we got to find a way to come together. Okay, community and connection is going to be the only way that we're going to be able to get out of this alive. And it requires us working together. I don't exactly know how or what that looks like, but what I do know is that it starts with the intention of trying to understand, where are you coming from? And when I share my piece, I hope that you ask questions to me to wonder, where am I coming from? And in that conversation, we can try to find a way for us to be able to not go, you know, we got to find a way to come together, okay? And we got to find a way to be able to talk to each other. So let this video, if you're seeing it right now and you made it to the end, let this be a sign and a reminder to leave room for conversation, even if you have to agree to disagree. Okay. I'll see you guys later. And so good. You got to try it. All right. All right. Thank you for listening to that. If you probably saw it. If you follow me pretty closely, I posted it all over the place. Now, here's what I have learned since then, from some self-reflection and really looking at my life and where I am now. And trying to understand where and how did we get here, right? Where and how did we get here? And before we get into the end, okay, I should probably just read you this. I'm nervous. I gotta be honest. I'm nervous. Sharing something out of a private journal is not easy, because that's where I would, if you are wondering how to become more confident and empowered, journaling has helped me so much. And again, with journaling, sometimes you don't know where to start. So I received some advice from a therapist, and she said, just start writing. Just start writing things that have like affirmed your day. Like, I had breakfast. What I had for breakfast was an egg and cheese muffin. I pet my dog. That made me happy. And then you just kind of let your brain take over, your thoughts take over, and you just keep writing. And if you don't know what to write, you just start writing whatever word. A, Z, clapping, fun, party, not having fun, sad, very sad. Like, and you just keep going. And you just see where it takes you. And that helps get through whatever it is, whatever walls that you have up, to get to the root of it, or get to the wound that needs to be addressed and healed. So for me, a big part of it is forgiveness and being open to forgiving myself, forgiving others, and hearing other people out. So, all right, here we go. I've been hesitant around forgiveness because, from my perspective, I was clearly wronged in the past, hurt, treated unfairly, and forgiveness for a long time felt like erasing that reality. But something happened the other night while watching Fairy Tale, specifically surrounding the character Mira Jane Strauss. As a child, Mira Jane saved her town using her takeover magic, absorbing a demon to defeat it. At that time, she didn't know that she possessed magical abilities, and because of that, when her power changed her physically, it confused her and those around her. Through abuse, due to the misunderstanding of her appearance and being run out of practically every town she entered, she remained gentle, kind, and nurturing. But she was also deeply afraid. Mira Jane spent much of her life in hiding, moving from place to place with her siblings, Elfman and Lizana, who loved her. Hold on, sorry, 1 second. Who loved her unconditionally when the world who loved her unconditionally when the world was clearly rejecting her, until they eventually found the Fairy Tale Guild. And that was when the guildmaster, Makarov Dreyer, told her there was nothing wrong with her, but that her power was simply rare, and her appearance could be changed back. However, even then, Mira Jane couldn't accept it. She carried resentment, fear, bitterness, and anger, even after being welcomed and finding a place where she belonged. She was convinced she would be rejected again, and later, after losing her sister Lizana, Mira Jane's grief hardened her. It took years for her to come back to herself, to realize that beneath the demons, beneath the misunderstanding, she was still the same girl who wanted to help people and to be loved in return. I see myself in her. I see how resentment can linger, not because not because forgiveness hasn't been offered or salvation, but because accepting forgiveness means accepting that I am different. And the honest truth, that is hard to come to terms with, is that being different doesn't mean that I don't belong. Forgiveness, however, isn't denial. It's understanding that sometimes pain is rooted in misunderstandings, and that others may never understand what it's like to be me. And that isn't their fault. And neither should it be. I can't change what I've said or done. I can't rewrite the past. But I can release the version of myself that believed I was destined to never belong anywhere. I can accept that there are people and places waiting for me, places I won't find if I'm still. Oh my God. I did not expect this. Okay. Places I won't find if I'm still holding on to the resentment that is clearly keeping me from growing into my destiny. That truth doesn't change the fact with how difficult this is to come to terms with, and that's the hard part in all of this. Life has let me down many times. It has felt unfair more often than not. And yet, the deeper truth is this. I've been waiting for someone to be on my side. When really the person I needed most was me, and allowing me to be who I am. I chose myself through my podcast, my music, my mental, emotional, and physical health. I dove headfirst into understanding my abilities and who I am. Whether people believe me or not no longer matters. I know what's real, and I can no longer betray what I believe, which is the light that is within me, has been guiding me this whole time. When we meet Mara Jane, we don't see her past and the years that it took for her to come home to herself and control the power within her. It is over time and through her shared experiences do we witness how much she had to heal on her own and with the Fairy Tale Guild. Her story alone gives me hope that one day I can achieve what she had to fight through for her family, her friends, and the community. That she made a promise to uplift and protect. So today, I commit to forgiveness as temperance. Not as a one-time act, but as a daily practice that I alone am responsible for. Because at the end of the day, what's done is done. What's through is through. And it is my sole responsibility now to live in the moment and do the best I can with what I already have. And in that, I am so grateful that with each new day, there is an opportunity to rebuild and forgive what I once destroyed out of my own misunderstanding of myself and the world around me. So I want to end with this. Do not let anger and confusion steal you from your future. There will be days that you believe all is forgiven and days where it all comes back and you wondered why you let it go in the first place. If that ever happens, ask yourself how you want to show up for your future self, because in the end, the anger will no longer hold any meaning, but the joy of being present within yourself will. So I encourage you to choose wisely. thank you today. Thank you. Sorry. Thank you for joining me today for today's coffee break. I want to say in past episodes I have said that I want to talk about more positive things, but I've also said that I want to talk about things that matter to me the most, especially in moments where I think that it matters. And this is one of those episodes where I think a lot of people need to hear it, to know that if you're trying to approach something with the perspective of perfection, chances are you're going to miss the opportunity. So please be kind, please be present, but most importantly, know that the change that we're looking for here really starts with each one of us, and it starts with what's happening on the inside, so that we can show up better for the world around us. Feel free to share your thoughts through my email, theoscoffeebreakpodcast@gmail.com. It lights me up each time I receive a message, even if they're not the most kind words, or even if they are. I'm still so grateful that you joined the coffee table and that you felt empowered enough to share your thoughts. I encourage you to share this with anybody that you think would benefit from hearing from me and from this coffee break session. And lastly, know that no matter what, no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, or how you identify, or what communities you are currently a part of, you will always be welcomed here at my coffee table. See you in the next episode. And until then, take care. Because you are making a difference in my life. And I am so grateful. Bye for now.